Fantastic. There's just something heartwarming about this, if I can say that, you know. I can remember my grandmother making tacos and my grandfather making tripas on a disco, you know. And those of you who aren't aware, a disco is a part of a tractor that was repurposed for to cook on. And boy, you can't get more Mexicano than that, right? If I can't plow with it anymore, I'm going to use it to cook with, you know. My name is Joe Peña. I am the Associate Professor of Art at Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi. I am a painter, a drawer, a lover of arts. I was in the equivalency of a writer's block. I was an artist block, you know, and so, but there's no break time in the studio. You just, if you don't know what to paint, you just go in there and you work. You constantly work. You just constantly work. Even if you don't know what to work on, you just paint a still life, you know, and so. But I'd gone back to New York to visit some friends, which I did on a regular basis, and I went to the Metropolitan Museum, and I saw the collection of the Dutch and Flemish paintings. That they have this wonderful collection of paintings within that they were called After the Hunt. Or then they have these different kinds of, where they have the butcher shops, you know, with all these opulent meats and game hanging, you know, or the tables with lavish seafood and game and rabbits and everything, just kind of, and deers, you know, just kind of talk about the opulence of life and what have you. And so, but they had some of the raw exposed meat that I was just fascinated with. I love that. And so I thought, well, I'm going to take that with me. And so I went to HEB and I picked up, as I told you, I went to HEB and I picked up this hunk of meat and I started drawing and painting it, you know, over and over again and just having fun with it and just really playing with that surface, you know, and so, and I really enjoyed it and I did that for about 6 months. So then got a call from my mom. She says, you know, why don't you come over, you know, your brother is making his lengua again, you know, your dad, and they're going to make it. And I said, absolutely, I'll be right over there. So I went over there and you pull out from the slow cooker and you pull this big lengua coming out, you know, it's just fantastic, you know, and so, and it dawned on me, you know, so I grew up loving the meat associated with our culture, and I love the tripas, mollejas, you know, and lengua, and I remember eating a lot of that, and so, and it dawned on me, so well, there's the connection, you know, that's what the meat reminds me of. There's the connection to the food element, and so, because when I see a piece of meat or I paint a piece of meat, I don't think of, oh, there's a piece of meat, there's a tongue, you know. For me, there's that element of home, tradition, family that goes into it, and it's this wonderful connection that I feel for it, you know. And it's not just our culture that eats those foods, you know, lengua, tripas, mollejas. I mean, every part of the world eats that too, because it's almost considered the discarded elements, and so, but we grew up on that, and so, and I loved it so much, and so that kind of became, so, and I love the multicultural element of it too, not just being Mexican based, but how it's carried on to many parts of the world, and so that connection of family, tradition, culture, and it's also fun to paint, you know. I was continuing this body of work of meats that I had been doing, and I still continue to do. And my wife called me up and said, you know, it was about midnight in my studio, and she said, and she was about 8 months pregnant with our first boy, and she said, you know, I need a taco now. So I said, absolutely. So I cleaned up and I went to this little taco place that I used to go to on Ayers Street. As I was approaching it, the street light was out, so the only light that it was illuminating from that darkened scene was coming from the truck in itself. So from a distance, it looked like it was just hovering in space. You know, it was drawing me in, and I was fascinated. And so I kind of stopped at the distance, and I got into the turning lane, and I got out and started taking some pictures, you know, and I got so excited about these images that I almost went home without picking up my wife's tacos, you know. Oof. So I was driving around with Cheech, and we went to different studio visits, and we went to the gallery, and he saw a painting in my Moya house, and he said, "This is yours?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, why didn't you take me to your studio?" And I said, "I didn't want to seem egotistical or what have you." So, but since then he's been in my studio many times. He says, "Oh, these are interesting," and so I told him a little bit about them. He said, "Can you send me some images?" I said, "Absolutely." That next week, I send him about 10 images. We talk a little bit about what the work is about, and then the following week, I get a call from his assistant, who said he likes them. He wants to take them all. And in my mind, the first thing I said was, "Why? You have an amazing collection. Why would you want these pieces of meat?" And so, but there's a wonderful video that you can find of him opening up my shipment, and he's there with one of the curators from the Getty Museum in his Los Angeles home, Cheech's Los Angeles home, and he opens it up and he pulls out one of the linguas, and he's like, there it is. This reminds me of my mom cooking on Sunday dinners, so my grandmother. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. You get it. That's exactly it. And so, for a lot of people, it's hard to get past that surface of that these are only meats, that these are only food stands, and so the deeper meaning behind them is what's important. So for somebody, especially of Cheech's caliber, to be able to understand and appreciate what I was doing, really meant a lot. I can't be more grateful for his patronage and his friendship, because it's just been fantastic to know that my work is going to the collection of somebody who gets it.